Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video. This time around we are doing like an overview of the Delve update. We did the patch notes a while ago, and this is going to be a very long video kind of talking about all what happened, or a little bit more of context compared to how this whole update is. And it's a big one, and there's a lot to cover, and there's a lot of small details. I've already made like 4 videos that are coming out after this one. So this is going to be like the main video where I'm talking about everything, and we are getting help from our good friends at Trove. So if you don't want to see me talking about this for 40 minutes, I don't know how this long video is going to be, but if you don't want to see me talking for this long, you can just go in the description and you can click this here and you can basically overview it all if you do that yourself. But I do provide a little bit more than there is here. I think I can explain things a little bit more, but again, if that's what you want to do, it is linked in the description. So go down there and check out the description for that. And while you're down there, maybe hit that like button. That would be amazing. But let's head into Trovesaurus's overview. That was a little bit of a hard word, but let's start with the overview. So Delve is a new game play type. It is time sensitive. You have a specific time to do so. In the bottom of this page here, there is a way of kind of breaking down every single the private ones, the public ones, and the challenge and stuff like that. So if you want to read those, you should do that yourself. I'm not gonna go into specific ones. I'll say what I don't cover as we go along, but there's a few things that you guys have to read yourself if you really want to get those absolutely specific things about, for example, the private one or the public one or something like that. But the private one I'm covering in another video, but I'm not gonna go into explanation because you can see it when you get there. You can see why I'm not going into it, and then why you would just click the video you want if you want something to know specifically. But yes, there is 3 kind of delves, as I just said. There's the public ones, there's the private one, and there's the challenges one. And the private one is something you create. The same thing with the challenge, and the public one is just always there. But the public one is also, of course, also the one you are with whatever random people that is. And the public one and the challenge one you can kind of do yourself, if that makes any sense. You can sort whatever people you want to bring in there, but I have much more about that in the video that's coming for the private one. So the HDelve has a difficulty. I also show that in the private one. I show like there's different mods it gets, and it's whatever, this gets, sometimes it's a good one for the player, sometimes it's a bad, and other way around, and whatnot. But all this is what the delve looks like in the start, and down here there is a bar that is showing. This is the geode bar, if you remember that one, and you can go into that one but just hitting the tab button or going into build mode. So whatever it is on consoles, when it hits there, it's going to be the same. So if you want to use your geode abilities or modules, you just have to get into build mode, and there you are going to be able to use those as well. And you can go back into fighting mode, if you know what I mean, and then you can go and fight. I actually find myself being most in fight mode, but yeah, it's really up to you. There's a bunch of text, but what I really want to talk about is down here. This is the chest that is in the end. As we are commonly known, there's a chest in the end of each dungeon. If you're doing a 3-star dungeon, a 1-star dungeon, or a 5-star dungeon, there is these chests, and the same thing is here. So every floor there is this pressurized chest. But what are these 2 down here? This is the heavy pressurized chest, and also the shadowy soul vault. And these are every 3rd level. So every 3rd every 3rd you do in a row. So if you do like a public one, so the first one, then you got to do the second one, and then the 3rd one, there's going to be one. But if you do one and then you jump out, you have to do 1, 2, 3 again. So it doesn't it isn't. If you do one and then you go out and then you think you can start on number 2, it's not how it works. But you can keep going. So if you do 3 and you just keep going, it will be 3 again, and 3 again, and 3 again. So that's also how you are getting your Titan Souls and Luna Souls. So basically, the first 6 vaults per week. So that means that you basically have to do 3, I guess 3 times 6 which is 18. So you gotta do 18 floors on Mondays now. And that's gonna get you Titan Souls, Titan Souls, Titan Souls, Titan Souls, Titan Souls, and then it's gonna give you your Lunar Souls and Despoiled Divinities. Instead of you doing it in in the Shadow Towers, as we kind of specifically went for each and every single boss. Now it's basically you can do 3, you can do 3 floors, you get your Shadowy Soul Vault, and then you can just jump out and do 3 more, and then it will count towards that. So at the end, you will get your Lunar Souls eventually. Doesn't have to be in the same delve. You don't have to go for like 100, for example, and then you actually have to go to 118 before you get your Lunar Souls or whatever. But it does start over when you hit, when you get the Shadowy Soul Vault. So there you can jump out and just do something else if you want to, and then do 3 more, and just like that. Also, it says down here that when the delves has to be U10 or 11 to possibly find a new tier of Crystal 4 gear that we want. I haven't heard about anyone getting it yet, but I'm pretty sure that by this video is out there, somebody that's found Crystal 4, and it's pretty expensive to upgrade, but that's how you get it. It does have to be 10 or 11, and you can always count. I think it's when we get up to 125 or something like that. I think that's around when that's Uber 10. It might be a little bit lower or something like that, but you can always hit the escape button on PC at least, and you can check it up in what Uber it is. And what if it can drop the Crystal 4, but it's still random. It's not guaranteed. If you do like a very, very high one, it's not guaranteed to get it. But yeah, that's just about how you are going to get your Lunar Souls and Titan Souls. So it's a lot more streamlined, but it's also more unspecific. It was more feeling like a little bit more specific when you were going, because if you were looking for Lunar Souls specifically, for example, I could just tell you, yeah, you have to kill Daughter Moon. That's it. That's pretty simple. Here I kind of have to explain that you have to go and go and go like that. Anyways, after all that, there's some personal chest and loot collector, and also a key mold that actually spawns when you are done. Just like we used to in the Shadow Towers, you just have to go, before you had to go through the portal, the purple portal into a specific or separate room, but here it spawns around you when you are done with that. So down here is also the public delves, the private delves, the challenge delves, and also the objectives and the currency. So I'm not going to talk about these delves in specific, and you can see why, because there's just a bunch of text that talks all about this. And if you really want to know this, if you want to be like an expert, I'd suggest you do read this. I've read it myself, but if I just have to read it, it's going to be an even longer video, and we don't want to do that because I have to do it for free. The objectives, I do want to see something about the objectives. Remember to do the objectives, and I also talk about this in the other video I do for the public one, but don't be a jerk when you're doing these. Don't be a jerk. Talk to each other. It's supposed to be, that's what it's all supposed to be. It's something where you are, working together as this. So don't be a jerk, even in the public ones. You don't need to be, just yeah, okay? Anyways, I think that's enough with that. Then we got the currency, and we talked about it, of course, with the Dude and the new currency, and there's all sorts of other stuff as well. I won't cover it too much because there is a lot of stuff that are in here, but I talk about it many other times, and as you can see, there's even more when you can click so many things. But again, I suggest you go and check all this out in the description, and we can talk about it. But I have covered it a lot in other videos as well. But now you can read it yourself whenever you want to. So that was the overview as itself. Then there is some about the adventures. I don't really want to go specific to this either, because it's pretty boring to just talk about, each and every single, adventure there is. But basically, some of them these are new ones in the club worlds. These are the ones with the Geo Outpost. This is a new one out there. But these other ones are a guy that spawns after you've completed the level. This guy is going to spawn and give you a level and stuff like that. But you can read more about that if you go down to the description again to cover that. In here we have something I do want to cover, and that's of course all the things you can craft. These are allies. Let me see. These are just one of the allies. Where's the other one? Oh yeah, these are the best allies there is now. I'm making a video also all about these are now the best allies. I'm making a video about that, so I'm going to cover that. There's some with the light banners. They're not particularly very good, and you do get a lot of the ingredients or currency, I don't know, but the ingredients to craft these light banners. But they're a good starting point if you don't have some of the permanent torches that are out there. Something I do want to talk about is, of course, the merchants and kind of what they have in there. But these are most just decorative banners, and there's some also the other allies and stuff like that. But these are pretty awesome, and I guess you can hover themselves if you want to see how much they give. You can see they give 10 mastery each of the small ones. But that's basically the crafting one, so you gotta basically go check that one out as well. But the merchants is what I also really want to talk about, because there is a guy in here. That's the guy that is on the right of the public Delve portal, and he sells some mounts. And these mounts can actually be used in the private Delve and challenge Delve. So you can use your normal mount in the public ones, but in the private ones, as I said here, and challenge, you can only use these elephants. And they're pretty cool elephants, I gotta say. There's also the Paragon wings here, the Bissell, the white ones. Those are really cool. I really love them. And there's a few other things to increase your wallet and also using the coin and the geode. And I'm gonna cover the coin as well. I've talked about it a few times, but I got a lot of questions about it when I was in when I was streaming, and how you was going to get it. There's also a banner you can just get if you want to for 25, if you just want to use this straight up. But these here is the different mounts and the wings, and then you can also get some more free range crystals if you want to get those for the pressurized kelp. But the wallet, so for 250 of the new currency, you can get you increased by 200, so you go up to 800. You can also buy it in the store. The store also has one. I don't know how many you can buy of that, but I would suggest probably you can buy infinite of that. But it does cost you 1,250 credits. So I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it really is necessary, but that's really up to you. But how to get the other free wallet upgrade is, of course, to have the coin of the Obsidian Delver. And how do you get this coin? You have to do 500 challenge delves, and then you are going to get a badge. I also show that in another video. I'm talking about getting the coin after 500 challenge delves, and when you have that, you can purchase this wallet increase again, and that is going to give you extra 200, and that's going to give you up to 1,000, depending on if you haven't bought something for the shop. But that's really up to you if you want to do so or not. So yeah, with that said, of course you need it if you need 1,000 if you want to get up to getting this mount as well. Of course, that makes a lot of sense. But yes, this is how you're gonna get the coin. Like I said, I got a good amount of questions on that. The other ones are guys that spawn after you have done the boss. And when you've done the floor, sometimes there's gonna be all these here traders and stuff like that. Not traders in in that trader, but as a merchant in there. So you can go check that out if there's something you want to buy. But that is basically it. Then there's something with mementos, and I don't want to go cover every single of these, but basically there is some different mementos. Basically they are, what would you call it? Like allies, kind of, not really allies. It's kind of hard to say it, but they're just memories. I think they're what they're wanting to be, mementos. I don't know, but the thing is with these, and this is very important, that they do expire if they're not used. So you gotta check your inventory if you have some of these in your inventory. So make sure your inventory is pretty clean so you can see this, because they do despawn after 3 hours. I don't know if that's going to change in the future, but I'm just saying right now you should use them because they do give you mastery. See, I guess the most common creature ones are going to give you 5 mastery. The bosses one is going to give 15, and then there's the biome one as well. That's going to give you 25, which is pretty crazy. For 25 mastery for not really anything. And also if you miss out, that's kind of annoying. So make sure you are picking them up, and you are also using them. So with that said, let's jump into the discovery suit mod in the delves. And basically this is the new vacuum module that we got, and I'm not gonna go in specific because you can see all the crafting recipe or whatever it costs all the way up to 10, but it's basically just one that is a module just like all the other ones, but this one does like kind of a suction thing, and if that's your thing, if you like to suck, then it's your, if you want to get this module. But also, of course, it gives you both Geode Mastery and also, of course, Normal Mastery, as the other modules did as well. I don't know how much it is, it doesn't say here, but I think it's equal to all the other modules upgrade and stuff like that. So, but down here there is a few updates to different things or changes. Some of the Omni tools got upgraded, so it basically is better now, and there's also some specific changes to some of the other ones that were there's some of the other modules. So if you want to read those, you can pause the video, or you can go to the description and check that out. So that was with the modules. Next thing is the mastery, and that's probably what people want to know mostly about. So for your first 500 mastery, and that is Trove mastery, not Geode mastery. We're not talking Geode mastery. We'll talk Geode mastery after this. But the first 500 ranks is going to give you 0.6 health to 0.2 damage, both magic and physical, and then 4 power rank per level, right? After 500, you're not going to get any more damage, or you're not going to get any more health, but you are going to get 1 power rank for each level, and you're going to get 1 magic find. So in theory, you can get endless of magic find now. I cover magic find in another video where I'm kind of explaining that you can get infinity. You can get up to 1,000, but there's not enough stuff to get to 1,000. But after that, you are basically getting more and more mastery. So also for Trove mastery, again not Geode mastery, for each 500 ranks gives you 1 chaos factor, and also grants for every 5 Trove mastery. So at 500 you're gonna get an extra chaos factor, you're gonna get another chaos chest, and also you are going to get at 500 levels, 50 levels after that, you're gonna get 1 more chaos factor. So right now as I'm playing, I have 5 chaos factors, so I have to work for 5 chaos chests every single day. Also for the Geode mastery, we also getting 10 light per the first 100 levels. So after 100 levels, there's nothing you have to do, but it also gives you 5 power rank for every single level for the first, again, 100 levels. So that's about 500 power rank just for the getting to 100 Geode mastery as well. All right, so Magic Find, there's a bit of talk here that for players that have Magic Find below 150, killing monsters will give up to plus 50 points for it. Upon reaching 150 Magic Find and above, the bonus of killing monsters turns into 50%. So under 150 Magic Find, you will get free 50 Magic Find, right? And basically there's a calculation right here, what they talk about. And the same thing down here, what also talks about that you would get a total of 300 if you have 200 base Magic Find, then it will increase a percentage. So the more Magic Find, or Magic Find basically got boosted after you have 150%. Also with Patron, it boosts also up to 100%. So yeah. Also, a thing I do have to remember to tell you guys, if you do a /respawn, you are going to lose that bonus. But of course, you can return that bonus by just killing monsters as it always has been. But, it says here, if you use it in a Club World, Hub, or Geo Sanctuary, so basically the safe worlds, your own world, and the Hub and the Geo Hub, if you do respawn there, you will not lose that Magic Find. But if you do it all over the other places, it's going to take out that bonus. But you first, like I said, you can just kill some monsters, do some stuff, and that's gonna bring back that. And there's a bunch of stuff again with the cash chest. I don't want to go into specific numbers, but what you have to do is complete dungeons to get your cash chests. So there's no more just logging in, getting your whatever cash chest factor you have and how many cash chests you're going to get every time. So you do have to work for them, and I think this is a good change. I've talked about it before. I really love that you have to work for them. And you can also, if you don't know how many you have, you can do /cast factor command. So you'll see right here the picture that this guy has 10 and he have gotten 1 so far, and he needs 9 still. And you just do dungeons, whatever you do in dungeons. You can do them in Delve, you can do them in whatever world you want to, and it triggers pretty fast. It triggers really, really fast. So you don't have to do a lot. You don't have to do all your star bar before you're done. It's not like the luxurious boxes, not at all. So yeah, it's pretty easy, easy. So anyways, that was all there is with the mastery, the magic find, the chaos factor. Then there is a little bit about the the leaderboards. I don't want to talk about like there's a new challenges and stuff like that. If you want to read those, you could do that. But basically, just some new leaderboards. If you open your leaderboards, you can just see there's some new ones. But if you're into that, you probably want to read this. But if you're not, then yeah, that's not really. You do get the new pressurized or pressure locked delve caches for them, but you really have to be up there if you want to do that. But what I really want to talk about is the class effort leaderboard, which is now, before we basically, if you had a class that was above 5,000 power rank, you got the first 2 reward every single week for the 3 random classes. But now basically there's still 3 random classes, but you have to work towards doing it. That means you have to do trials or challenges. You have to do basically you have to do dungeons, you have to do delve and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter what you do. Anything you do in the game is going to increase that number. So doing a few dungeons on this class, a few dungeons on this class is a lot better, because you could do this at a very, very low power rank. You don't have to have a 5,000 power rank class at all to get these rewards, because it's something like doing also destroying blocks, doing dungeons and stuff like that. And when I said you have to do it so you can get the reward. But if you don't do anything, you're not going to get the reward. So it's more like, before we just logged in once a week and we're like, hey, cool, I'm going to get rewards for just having 5,000 power rank on this class. But now you actually have to work again towards getting these here, effort points, right? But again, you can get it for anything you do in the game. Basically, there is a whole list, and I covered that in one of the videos that I did, one of the patch notes videos. But it's also like destroying blocks, like I said, doing dungeons and stuff like that. So it's pretty simple. It's a lot better because you don't just log in once a week and you get these rewards. You actually have to work towards them, and you have a whole week to do so. And yeah, so I think this is a really good change. But the point is also, trial classes cannot gain points. I kind of think that's okay, but yeah, I guess that was kind of the same that it was before. So yeah, unlock those classes, just do some stuff on it, do a few dungeons. Even if you don't have a lot of power rank or anything like that, just level them a little bit and you are going to get that. And you can always check in on the leaderboards, click on the different classes and see how much you have and how much effort you've done on that class for that week, and you can then say, oh yeah, I've done that much for that. So this is a good change. I've talked about it before. Then there's something with the banners. I don't if this has anything with the permit. It does have the permit torches in here. Okay, so I'm not really going to talk about the craftable banners and stuff like that. You can read that if you want something with the banners. What I think that is super interesting is that down here we have upgrading our permanent torches. So the permanent torch you get from killing Leviathans in the U8, U9, and U10, especially U10, you can now upgrade these. It only says 2 of them. I got this one, the one that gives 825, and then I upgraded it into having, was it, can I say? Oh yeah, 900. It has 350 power rank, and then it has 900 light. So it has the same as the temporary one. So that makes this the permanent one the absolutely best. And then there's a different, you can have like, I think I got flask capacity and I got movement speed on mine. But you can craft, there's a bunch of other things. There's also attack speed, there's jumps and stuff like that. You can get on them as well. I think if you click these, yeah, you can click these and then you can see what they, how much they give. Would that please close again? Okay, it didn't close again. All right, but you can basically see, let me see if I can go down and find mine. I used the arcane one, and like I said, I got flask capacity. Let me see if I can find it somewhere. There we go, this one. So it gives 350 power rank, it gives 900 light, and gives 500 magic damage, and 5 flask. Flask capacity is more flasks. And then of course 10 attack speed, movement speed. And it just became better. It's not really something that is insane, but it does give you more light and it does give you the magic damage. And again, you can you can do whatever you want. This one is with maximum health. You probably don't want to get that one, but there's one for physical damage, there's one for magic damage, and there's one for maximum life, and they all have the same second stat, if that makes any sense, or third or fourth stat, if that makes any sense. So it will have, you know, let me go down here. As you can see, 900 light, as this one has, the 500 magic damage, and this one has jumps, and this one has movement speed. So whatever you feel like is good for your class, it's always going to have the 500 damage and 900 light. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's also 500 physical. Okay, if you make the physical damage one. And then you could say if you want jumps, if you want movement speed, or you want attack speed, for example, you want jumps, depending on what you want. But that's really important. And you craft this one. You craft these these torches in the crafting bench there is in the geo top side. So when you spawn in geo top side, there is a crafting table right in the middle where you also you know, craft the temporary ones, and there you can go and upgrade yours. So you can still craft the temporary ones, but then there you can also craft your you know, upgrade, sorry, your permanent ones. So yeah, that is basically the whole thing about the upgrading. That's very important if you have one of these permanent torches. And if you want to do something, there's a lot of, like, you can see there's a lot of text about getting these banners, but banners are really, really important because they do give you light. And if you want to go down to all of these here, you know, lower delves and stuff like that, you do have to get a bunch of light. So there's also the unique banners, which I haven't gotten one of yet, unfortunately, but there is a couple that are pretty awesome. Here you got, if you're using this banner, you increase the chance of standard delve enemies to drop more of the new geode currency upon death. So you can run this, you know, while you are going down the, I guess, towards the boss, and then you can switch to your permanent one or whatever torch or banner you are using to kill the boss. And the other one is the Nitro Chaser. This is one I really want as well. Increase your amount of nitro, the nitro glycerin obtained while mining. And I know it's a 50% increase, so you can run around with this banner on while on, for example, Tuesdays, which is still gathering day, and you will get 50% extra nitro. And you get these by opening these here lock boxes. These ominate ones are also something that drops from the delves, and it has to be really, you have to be lucky. They are really rare. And they're also untradeable, as it says right here. But these pressured caches that we talked about earlier, this is where you also are going to get them. But they're more of a niche thing. There is something with like damage, restores energy and stuff like that. You can also read all of them if you want to do so. But the ones I just talked about, these two, is the one I feel like is the most these two, sorry. These are the most important ones because you get a lot of geode currency, and also you can get a lot of nitro probably with this one. I haven't tested it out, but it's more unique kind of deal. But they're awesome. I want at least I want these two. I actually just want one of them. That'd be cool, but at least I'm gonna get this one. I will do a video where I open a bunch of these chests. I'm trying to accumulate a whole bunch of them. So then we got the batches. We are getting closer to the bottom. So the batches is, of course, when you go and open up your batches of your gameplay and stuff like that. And there is a few ones, you know, down here is where the 500, you know, delve challenge delves are completed. And here is the coin that you need. You can see it's right here. Also, you get some of those ominous pressured lock chests, which was also kind of cool from the other ones, and you get different things, and they give 100. So it's a really good idea to do a whole bunch of them. The 50 public delves are probably going to be a little hard to do, but maybe later on we can get this one here, because right now public delves are pretty crazy, because people, you know, just jumping in and jumping out, not really taking it super you know, serious. Also here it says there that the obsidian badge is going to give you that as well. It says right here. So that's with the badges. Not going to cover that a lot anymore, because that's pretty simple and straightforward. The next thing is the diligence. I think that's how you call it. I'm not sure if that is the right word for it, but basically what this means is the different mods that a delve can have. It's random what they can have. And basically some of them are, you can read them if you want yourself, but some of them are really good for the players, some is really good for the monsters, and other, like really bad for the players and really bad for the monsters. And basically you can see them in the beginning. If I go back right here and show you, you can see on this picture, you can see this is the start area. You can see what kind of mods all of these have, and there's a little icon for the different enemies that are in there. And I do want to say that all enemies in there, they do very different. So some enemies are going to take a lot of damage from your abilities, and some are really not going to take any damage from your abilities. I forgot to mention that when I was doing the Delve video that's coming out later, or another day, sorry. I didn't talk about that, but so some of them are going to be really, really hard to kill, and some of them are going to be really easy to kill. And if they're really hard to kill, just jump ahead. Maybe there's going to be some you can actually kill and so on. So, but that's all about this here. And if you want to read specifically what they do, all of them, you should go into the description and check it all out, because I'm not going to explain every single one of them, but some like reduced jumps and stuff like that for the players and whatnot. Then we got the Shadow Towers. The Shadow Towers is in here they explain what I actually explained in the beginning. But if you want to, see it more specifically, then it's kind of set like this. So again, it's not tied into a boss specifically like it was in the old Shadow Towers, but now it's just tied into the different floors you are going to hit. So yeah, 18 floors, and you are going to be all the way through, as it says right here. And it still works on I don't know if it actually, I don't think it works anymore with Mondays. I think you don't have to do it Mondays anymore. I think it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't give any more Titan Soul, Lunar Soul, so I think you just get maximum as it is for everyone. So but the Shadow Towers, as it says, is no longer a dungeon. It's still there, and you can still do it if you want the badges, for example. I want to do the badges at some point. I'm missing like 200 of them each. And what they've really done, a really nice change, is that you can, as you start doing each and every single floor as we used to, and then get you into the boss room, you can defeat the boss, but now you can just reset it at the boss place and get the boss again, so you don't have to run those 3 floors up to there and do the thing. So you can just keep resetting the boss, but you won't get any loot out of it. You won't get rich just doing this. It's just for doing the badges, because the badges are still in the game. And also, if you want to do these bosses, if you've never done them before, you can do them again on these different difficulties. And yeah, so, but you can basically reset it at the boss, and then you can get these badges instead of having running 300 of Ultra Dreadnought, for example, from start to finish. You can just keep resetting at the boss, and you can just boop, 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 and you can basically burn these badges out in pretty nice time. So I just wanted to mention that, because that is something I am going to do. Also, of course, you can still get the old mounts from the Shadow Towers and stuff like that. So it all says right here, and also it says something about the keys and what keys turned into. Well, there's only one key now, but it all turns into this here, and just shows you what it's basically is. Also, the Mondays is now Delve Day. That means it drops crystals, shadow shards, and there's new currency. No more extra Titan Souls and Lunar Souls. They are all maxed basically from the beginning. You don't have to do it on Mondays. And then there's also, they are talking about this NPC again, you have to do some bosses and stuff like that. And also the Binding and Darkness does not drop in Shadow Towers anymore. Also, the Starfire is also in the Delve. So basically there's nothing to do in Shadow Towers other than the badge, and if you want to do the bosses just for fun. But yeah, that's it. And the Binding of Darkness drops I've gotten a lot of them. They drop a lot, really, really a lot. Or I don't know. I feel like we got a lot of them. Then you got the biomes. There's not really anything here yet. I can't even click it. So the biomes, this just means the different biomes, and I think he's not really done with that, because there is so many different ones, and it doesn't really matter. It's just probably a tab that's just going to tell us what the different biomes look like, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest. The last is, of course, the patch, and that's the patch notes if you want to read the patch notes itself. But I think it's only the original patch note. I don't think it has all the all the additions that we got over time. But if you want to read them, they are here as well. But that's basically everything we covered. We did do almost a 40-minute video. I tried to get this as fast as possible through this. I'm pretty tired right now because it's a lot of talking and there's a lot of things to remember. But thanks to Trovosaurus, I did get to remember all of it. And yeah, I'm pretty happy how this turned out. I hope you guys did as well. Again, it's linked in the description if you want to read more about it. And if you are down there, make sure you like and subscribe. Helps me out very much and super much appreciated. Kind of hard to keep talking for this long, so I really appreciate that like. Anyways, enough begging from my side. I do appreciate you guys watching this far. If you made it this far, again, I will catch you in the next video. So thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Bye.